Hey everyone, this is Charlene Davis, and coming to you with a new journey that I'm on. I am a wife. I'm a mother of two daughters that are 16 and 10. And I started this online journey probably about a year and a half ago. And I wanted to kind of document, what I've gone through, the success that I'm seeing now, and some of the things that I'm doing differently, and kind of how I got to this point. So first, I got to this point. I'm not a young spring chicken, and I knew that I wanted something else, but I had to kind of think back. How did I get here? This was not where I wanted to be. So I thought back, and like most of us when we're growing up, we're taught to go to school and get a job and stay at that job forever and retire from that job and life is happy. Well, today's day and age, that is not the case anymore. Companies are not loyal, people are not loyal, and you don't stick with a job. The average person stays at a job 3 years and their job jumping. So I went to college. I got a degree in business, sales, marketing is kind of my emphasis. And I wanted a corporate position like most people do when they get out of college. And you seem important. I started at the bottom. I started in a sales role. And by the time I was about 25 or 26, I found myself in a sales manager type role. Longer hours, little better pay, nothing spectacular, but now a ton more responsibility. And then by the time I was about 30, I found myself in a corporate sales director position. Better money, of course, but now longer hours again. And I got to the point in my life where I didn't enjoy what I was doing anymore. I was just in this rat race of go to work, come home, make dinner, work out. I didn't have kids yet, but it was the same cycle over and over and over and over. And my husband had asked or wanted to go into business, like brick and mortar, traditional type business, because we didn't know any other business models had existed. So that's what he wanted to do. And I said, absolutely not. The reason I was really dead set against it is I grew up in a family like that. My parents were always trying something new. They were very entrepreneurial. We had this business in the basement, and my dad had this shop, and it was always some sort of business. They were trying to find their niche. Eventually, when I was about 12 or 13, they bought a gas station and really added on to that over the years and became very successful and made a lot of money. But what I found was I was 13. I was at home. I didn't have parents anymore. They became successful, but they worked themselves to death, and I never saw them. So, anyway, sorry. I didn't want that for my kids because I knew what it took to build a business and work. And, you're working 80 hours a week and you're never home and you're married to that business. So I didn't want that. However, I did not like my job. I did not like going to work every day. I didn't like having a boss. So what did I do? I told my husband, I'm like, sure, let's go for it. So we found the funding, we found the financing. We put our business plans together. Those were things that I knew how to do. And so we put that together and we went to work. And I worked my full-time job and I ran a business, and he quit his job. And he ran that business full-time. And he quit his job. I made more, so he quit his job. That just made sense. And within a couple of years, I quit my job and we ran that business together. However, that's all we did was work. Our whole relationship was work. And what happened in 2008? The economy went south. Banks were closing. businesses were closing, houses were foreclosed upon, and it was bad. And I had a ton of money tied up in real estate we had a couple businesses now at this point. Real estate that was worth $1 million 1 minute and worth $400,000 if I was lucky overnight. That was supposed to be our retirement plan. We were going to eventually, 10 years down the road, sell all of our real estate and take our money and be done. That was our plan. The plan didn't work. I found myself, a couple years after that, we ended up closing and giving everything back to the bank. And I found myself at 40 years old starting over. Trying to find a job, a house. I now had 2 little kids. But anyways, so now I had the entrepreneurial bug. And I guess I always had it. I just didn't know it was in there. So I started doing some network marketing. I did this network marketing, and then I tried a different program, and I tried a 3rd program and a 4th program. And I found myself, I just didn't have success. So I really thought about what it is I liked and what I didn't like. And I didn't like being away from home. I didn't like having parties, but I liked people. I was very good at talking with people and helping people. And through all of this, I discovered there's a whole world out there on the internet. And I discovered online marketing. Well, 15 years ago, when I was doing network marketing, I discovered this thing called Google AdWords, but I could never really quite figure out how it worked. So never did much with that. So fast forward to today, here about 1.5 years ago, I started a couple different online programs and spent a bunch of money. And I know most of you do the same thing. You start this program or that program. It's the next best thing. It's the next best shiny object. And you spend some money, and 30 days in and you realize, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, the programs work. They do. But sometimes there's not a lot of help. There's nobody for you to call. There's no training. They have a system in place, but nobody really tells you what that system is. And you're still stuck trying to figure it out on your own. And there's still some missing components. And so I found this company called the Power Lead System. And I got to tell you, I'm only a few weeks in. My first 2 or 3 weeks, I haven't made a ton of money, but I made some, which is more than I've ever made before. It was, I made $100. Who cares? I didn't make anything in any of these other businesses. So I know for the first time I'm in the right place at the right time. And part of it is because I have a team that backs me up. I have the training. We have this 90-day training going on where some of our leaders in our group are telling us exactly every day what to do. And that kind of training is unheard of in this industry. So what I decided, and part of my strategy, is that you have to have a budget. So if I opened my business, you open a coffee shop down the street, you need traffic, you need to bring people to you, and you pay. You buy advertising, you pay for a newspaper ad or a mailer or something like that. Same thing is true in online marketing, which is something I didn't really understand before. I still have to drive traffic to my website. So there's still a budget associated with that. And I've determined that my budget's going to be about $800 to $1,000 a month. Some of you may think that's really high. Some of you may think that's not enough, but that's what I have. And I can do, I'm learning how to drive free traffic. But if I want this to work and I want it to work quickly, there is, you can get there a little bit faster with paid traffic. And everybody that I've talked to that's having success with this is doing that. They're doing a combination of paid and free traffic. And I'm going to put everything I have for the next 90 days in this program. And I'm going to document what I'm doing, how it's going, what's working, what's not working, so that you can have success too. I want you to join me in this journey. So what I learn, I can teach you, and you can be successful. I don't want to be a sponsor where there's no one to call. I'm never going to leave you. I'm never going to just leave you in the dark and not help you. Yes, you have to want it. You have to decide that this is what you want to do, and only you can make it happen. But I can help you. I can give you some of the tools and where to go. We have a great group of people that we're working with. And I will tell you, I'm going to make this work because I want to quit my 9 to 5. And in 90 days, I will be able to make that decision for me when I'm going to make that happen. And I want to help you do that too. If that's what you want, if you want time freedom, and that's kind of what this is all about, is getting some time freedom, getting your time back. So I can take my kids on vacation without going into credit card debt. How many of you have taken your kids on vacation and you had to put it on your credit card, and now you've spent the next year paying for it? It's like Christmas. You want this great Christmas, but how do you buy your stuff? You put it on a credit card. And then you spend the next year paying it off. You don't have to do that. You can have something better. It can be better. Just come see what we're doing. Check us out. Learn more. Talk to some people. Let us work together. Let's chat about it. So below this video, you're going to find my link to my Facebook page. You're going to find my link to my website. Learn more. Check it out. Send me a message. You're also going to find my number. Send me a text. I'd love to hear from you. And let's go on this journey together. Whatever your goal is, come join me and let's go on the journey together.